Hi, you might have seen this clip of James Talarico talking about God as non-binary.
21, in a speech during debate over transgender issues, you said God is non-binary. What did you mean by that?
Well, I think I was being intentionally provocative with that statement. But what it means is that God can't be defined by human categories.
Now, he's been copping a lot of flack for this, partly because people are offended by this language and we are in a political moment where language of non-binary or anything that touches on gender and transgender is a hot topic. I want to flip it around though for those who find this claim blasphemous. What would it mean to call God binary? Binary when it comes to gender means there are only two genders, male or female. So if we're calling God binary, are you claiming that God is one of those two genders, in which case the Bible would disagree with you? Or are you claiming that God is male and female, but somehow you're deeply offended by the idea of God being genderless or transgendered? And here we get to the nub of the problem. As Talarico says, we're trying to describe God in human categories, and that will always be limited and imperfect. So let's look at how the Bible talks about the divine. In Isaiah, God is like a mother, a breastfeeding mother at times, and in Deuteronomy, God is a rock that gives birth, an interesting hybrid image. There's no doubt that at many times in the Bible, God is also depicted as male, as a king, or as Jesus calls him, Father. But God is also non-human. God is spirit. God is like a quiet breeze when he comes to Elijah the prophet. She is like a spring of living water, a tower, a shield, a sword, and a consuming fire. What we see in this tradition are ways of trying to capture something of the essence of God in our human, limited language and conceptions. I personally don't think it's particularly helpful to call God non-binary, but the flip side is not calling God binary either or claiming God is male. God is both beyond gender and encompassing of all gender. Or as the Oxford Regis professor Keith Ward once said, God does not have chromosomes.